Hi, third graders. In this video, we are going to start talking about multiplication vocabulary. So we started the multiplication unit in math this week. So I'm going to share with you my notebook and the different vocabulary words that are very, very, very important during this entire unit. Okay, here it is. I'm going to talk through every single little part. So I have my title up here, multiplication vocab. Vocab is short for vocabulary. And then I have a sample problem, and I have 6 times 8 equals 48. Now, in addition, these numbers are called add-ins, and the answer is called the sum. In subtraction, we have the minuend, and then the subtrahend, and then the difference. So in multiplication, these numbers have names as well. Any two numbers or three numbers or four numbers, any numbers multiplied together are called factors. So that's where you see underneath my 6, I have an arrow and it is called a factor. Next, I have the 8. That is another number that's being multiplied and it is also called a factor. The answer is called the product. So if you see a story problem or a word problem and it's asking you what is the product of these numbers, well, they're not saying, hey, please multiply these numbers. So product means whatever numbers that are in that problem are to be multiplied together because the product is the answer to a multiplication problem. So here I've written factors are the numbers that are multiplied. I know this symbol looks like a hashtag to you, but in my brain, it means number. It's the pound sign. Factors are the numbers that are multiplied. And in most cases in our unit, we will have two numbers that are multiplied together. Later on in the unit, we'll have maybe 3 or 4 factors that are multiplied, but in third grade, 2 to 4 factors is the amount that we work with the most. And then my next bullet point says answer is called the product. So that's the same thing that I was just saying up here. So here I have just written an X, so the multiplication symbol. So X, and then I have written words that I can say that mean to multiply. The first one is times, and I said that when I read the problem. I said 6 times 8, so that's what I'm supposed to do for multiplication, times. Next is rows of. This will be important when we start talking about an array. That's one strategy for multiplication is making an array. So I could say 6 rows of 8. So 6 rows and then 8 in each row, or 8 columns. Next would be groups of. And you'll hear me say this when we talk about the equal group strategy for multiplication. So this could be 6 groups of 8. 6 groups of 8. I could say by. In the classroom, one of the students, when I said this, there was a light bulb moment, and this person said, "Oh, I've been with my parents at Lowe's, and when we get lumber, when we buy wood, they always say like 2 by 4." Well, those are the dimensions, the end dimensions on the piece of wood. It's 2 inches by 4 inches. Not technically, but that's what it is. It's 2 inches by 4 inches. So by means multiply, and that helps us when we talk about area, and that's in the few units from now, so don't worry if you don't know what that means. Multiply, of course, means to multiply. And then each, if I had 6 flowers, 6 flower pots, and in each flower pot I had 8 flowers, how many flowers would I have? So that almost sounds like addition, kind of, it is. So repeated addition is another multiplication strategy, but that word each in the problem, that automatically sets up groups. So I had 6 flower pots, which are my groups, and then I had 8 flowers in each pot. So then I can then count, okay, 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8. And so that's what's happening whenever I see the word each. So all of these vocabulary words you will hear again, you'll see again, and I want to make sure that you understand these vocabulary words so that you can do your multiplication work. Okay, on the next page, I'm going to talk about the first strategy for multiplication, and that is forming equal groups. So in the equal group strategy, the first factor is the number of groups. The second factor is the number in each group. And then finally, the product is the total amount of things that you drew. So in my notebook here, I have 6 groups. So I have circles representing my number of groups. So it said 6, so that's how many groups I have drawn. And now in each group, I'm going to hold it still, I have 8 dots. So I have 8 things in each group. Now to find the total, all I have to do is count all my dots all together. So it's just like addition. So multiplication is a faster way to do addition. So then I can count these by ones, I can count them by twos. If I know how to count by 8, I can do that. And you can see on mine, when I counted, I kept track. So I had 8 here, then plus another 8 is 16, plus another 8 is 24, and then I moved down here, plus another 8 is 32, another 8 is 40, another 8 is 48. So that's how to do the equal group strategy. I'll show you another example. The next one was 6 times 7, and we figured out that it was 42. Well, I've got 6 groups. Remember, that first factor tells me how many groups. The next factor is the number or amount in each group. So I have my 6 groups. I put 7 things in each group, and then when I added up everything together, it gave me 42. So 7 plus another 7 is 14, plus another 7 is 21, plus another 7 is 28, plus another 7 is 35, and another 7 is 42. So that is how the equal group strategy works. The first factor is the number of groups. The second factor is the amount in each group. And then the product is all of your items all counted together. So I hope this explanation for multiplication vocabulary as well as the equal group strategy helps you with your multiplication understanding.